Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, my name's Arsh Ellahi, and tonight I'm going to be presenting to you a business opportunity that I've been working on for near enough the best part of a couple of years now. So I'm hoping by this point, by watching the webinar and by watching us live, just so that you know, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Instagram, we're live on Facebook, and thankfully technology has been good to us so far. So if you are watching us on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, feel free to watch the full session. The link to the session is actually in the opening post, or it's bit.ly/PIAOPP2. First of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for giving up some of your time this evening. It's a Sunday. Sorry, it's not Sunday. It feels like a Sunday. Bank holiday Monday. Last bank holiday of the year. Hopefully, and it's been a glorious day. So hopefully you've had a great day. So what is it that we're going to be talking about tonight? So anyone that knows me pretty much knows that I'm quite a prolific deal sourcer, a deal trader. So there's lots of terminologies that will be bouncing around today. So we could be called a deal sourcer, we could be called a deal trader, we could be called a packager, just to name a couple of things that people call us when we're involved in property. And what we're going to be looking at today is an opportunity, which is something that I've been working on for the last couple of years. And I've been very brash in my approach. And I've said in all my marketing posts over the last couple of weeks is the fact that we are very much after people who's going to be looking to take the brand forward. And I'm hoping that by watching this session tonight, this gives you an indication as to the kind of market that we're looking at. And more importantly, how big the market is and the scalability of the opportunity. So just if you can, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube or Instagram, and actually the webinar, why don't you can you just give me a quick hello just to let me know that you're here. So I've got a quick hello from Gary and Ayo and Satinder, we've got Matthew, okay, we've got loads, Christos, Colin, right, okay, we've got loads and loads of people logged in, all saying hi, we've got loads of people, so we've got lots of people waving to me on Instagram, cool, hi Cole, hi Swag Boy, and all the guys that are on Facebook as well. It's becoming quite a challenge keeping on top of it all, but it's all good. Right, okay, so let's get moving on. So I'm hoping by this point of you watching the webinar or this presentation, you would have already have downloaded the app. Can you give me a quick yes or no if you've downloaded the app? And the app that we're talking about is called Property Investor, and it's available not only on the website, so it's propertyinvestorapp.co.uk. We've got a web app, we've got two mobile apps, which is on Android, on Google Play, as well as the iOS App Store, so Apple and Android machine. So everyone, okay, so straight away, everyone's saying yes, 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 yes. Oh, thank you, Matthew. Matthew says it's excellent. Okay, so a couple of people said no, that's fine. Roger and Rule have said no. Matthew said very well designed. Okay, so just so that you know, guys, it would have been great for you to download the app prior to the presentation. A couple of people said we're downloading it now as we speak. That's fantastic, because it is all about this opportunity. So let me tell you a little bit about myself as to who I am and what I've done in my journey in property. And the reason why I say that is because it's led me to where I am today, and the reason why I've created the Property Investor app. So some of you may or may not know. So my name's Arsh Ellahi. I'm a prolific property investor, shall we say. So I've got quite a lot of properties and I've got quite a lot of tenants. I think at last count, we're looking at the best part of 1,100 tenants. And my property portfolio kind of runs itself. So it does what it says on the tin. So I've built a whole team to manage my properties. So whilst that was doing what it's doing, I turned my hand, and I've always been deal trading. So I call myself a deal trader. I don't really refer to the term as a deal sourcer. I refer to myself as a deal trader because I like that. That's exactly what I do. I trade. I literally negotiate something and I sell it. So I'm trading it. I'm not buying it. I'm not interested in running it or anything like that. I'm not interested in the maintenance, the management, tenants, or anything like that. I literally want to negotiate the deal, package it up, sell it onto a property investor who's interested in that property, and I'm going to make a commission for putting together this transaction, shall we say. So for anyone that knows, if you're on my email database or if you've been watching the app closely over the last 3 months, which is when it's been live, you can say that this year we're on track to do roughly around 500 properties. So that is predominantly what we do. On average, we trade around 500 properties. And if you work on the average fee being circa between £4,000 to £5,000, you can kind of get an indication as to the kind of figures that we're looking at. Now, admittedly, a lot of you would be saying, okay, so first of all, sorry, I've got to stop right there. Morgan says the audio is not working. Just to clarify, can everyone else hear? Just give me a quick yes or no, quick hands up. If you're on Instagram, Facebook, etc., just give me a quick hands up just to let me know. Okay, so everyone's saying yes, 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 yes. Okay, so brilliant. Morgan says, sorry, sorted, it's my Wi-Fi. Okay, cool. So sorry, going back to my train of thought. So a lot of you would have been happy with trading 500 properties a year. And, you know, for me, it's a fantastic achievement to be able to do that, to trade as many properties that we do. And I like the thought that we're trading so many properties. So literally, for me, my forte is the negotiation. And that's what I really love. I thrive off negotiating. I thrive off the fact that I've done the deal. You know, I don't need to worry about buying it because let's face it, as a deal sourcer, as a deal trader, I'm not buying it. I'm negotiating it, getting it ready and making it financially viable for someone else to buy. And as a result of my efforts, I get paid the sourcing fee or the finder's fee, depending on what you want to call it. Sourcer's fee, finder's fee, packaging fee, they're all kind of the same thing. So moving on, for anyone that's on my email database, you would have seen that I've been sending out approximately 2 deals a day. So normally one in the morning or late morning, one in mid-afternoon. So we're doing on average around 10 a week. Sometimes we put out 3 deals a day. Now, if you're anything like me, do you mind if I ask a quick question to everyone that's watching? And I'd like you, this has to be an interactive session. How many emails do you receive on a day-to-day basis? If you can just give me a rough indication. So Jay Straightaway is coming 2. So John is coming with 200. Bina says she gets 6 emails. If I got 6 emails, I would be absolutely ecstatic. Okay, a lot of people saying, look, on average, I get circa between 300 and 400 emails a day. So that is stuff to do with my properties. That may be HMO officers emailing me. That may be banks emailing me. That may be documents that are coming in from solicitors, accountants, tax advisors, as well as deals from other sources, as well as all kinds of other different marketing. Now, the question is, how many out of all the emails that you receive, how many do you actually read? And the reason why I'm telling you this is because this is what has brought me to where we are today and what we're due to present. Okay, so Matthew says that he receives on average 200 and he reads on average around 5. Now, when you look at that as a percentage, it's, hang on, so 10% is 20. So he's reading 5, so he's actually reading around 2.5% of his emails, 1% of his emails. So you can see, I only read the heading. So some people said very few, I only read the heading. Now you've got to remember that I send out around 2 to 3 emails a day. These are for property deals. Now I can imagine that for me sending out 2 or 3 property deals, you know, at some point, let's say Christos, he's online, he's got to say, come on, Arsh, give it a break. I've received 3 emails off you today. You know, admittedly, I even sometimes question myself, am I pissing you off? No, sorry, you know, there's a bit of bad language there, but am I annoying you by sending you these emails? But then I have to justify it to myself that in actual fact, I'm giving you great value by sending you fantastic property opportunities. Where else would you guys see these opportunities if I didn't put them anywhere else? If I didn't put them in front of you, how would you see them? So this is what has led me to create the Property Investor app. As you can see, in my slogan I've put, it's designed by a property investor for property investors. And what we're aiming to do is move away from email marketing and now put it all on a digital platform. So we're moving away from email to almost what is considered push notification. So this is where we are today. So I've created an app called the Property Investor app, and like I said, it's available on the App Store, it's available on Android, on Google Play, as well as iOS. And if you haven't already downloaded it, please do so, because we're going to be going through this in great detail right now. So moving on, I'm just going to give you a quick video for the guys that are watching the actual webinar. Here's a quick video as to what the Property Investor app is all about. Oh, sorry, that's me. So hopefully that's give you a bit of indication as to what the Property Investor app is all about. It's a digital platform which is going to showcase property investment deals all over the UK. Now, as I said earlier, we've been trading deals for the last 20 years. So I've been actively involved in property since the year 2000. So one of the questions that have come through on Instagram is that how did I actually get involved in property? So how it all started for me is that my father had a small portfolio of properties, and when I left university, he said to me, "Can you give me a hand in actual managing the properties?" I thought, yeah, okay, that shouldn't take me too long. And believe it or not, it actually took approximately an hour a day. And I kind of left feeling, well, what do I do with the rest of my day? You know, it wasn't really fulfilling, it wasn't very hard to do, and it was a very easy task. All I had to do is streamline it. And as a result of that, that's when I started looking at other avenues. So I started looking at the avenue as to, can I trade property? So I started the old way of trading. So I would buy one, I'd possibly refurb it, and then I would try and sell it. On average, we're doing around 2 a year, because by the time you bought it, you tied up your money, you refurbed it, you try and put it back on the open market, you're now waiting for the estate agent to sell it, and then we went through that process. We did around 2 a year, and it was okay. You know, bear in mind that I was 20 years old at that point. We then progressed, and we went further on into then going through the auction route. So instead of buying it, doing it up and selling it, I was buying it and then putting it into auction and selling it. So pretty much flipping it straight on. And again, we started to do a lot more of those. So we started to do on average between 4 and 6 a year. And that was good as well. But I had the urge to do more. I wanted to do more. And so that's when we started to start building my own investor database. Now, just so you know, between the year 2000 to year 2019, where we are today, I've now got an active database over 110,000 people. And now these aren't just people that I've just gone and scraped a load of data. What I've actually done, and these are people that I've either met or have been investors or they've been to networking meetings of. So I've done this the hard way. Bear in mind that year 2000, there wasn't this beautiful thing called the internet. So in that respect, or there wasn't a massive property community like we have today. So I've gone off and done this the hard way. But I know that my investor database buys because we sell to them every day. So just give you a quick, so we went from traditional buy and sell, then through to the auction route. Then I started building my email database. And so in that respect, instead of actually having to buy them, now when I went to the vendor, I said, guys, okay, I may not be the buyer, And I was very straight up from day one. I like the property, but it may not be me that buys it. And they said, we don't care who buys it, as long as someone buys it and you try and find us a buyer. And that's always been my stance as a buyer. Now, I see lots of deal sources and property investors go to an estate agent and say, I can buy your property, 25% below market value, cash buyer, 7 days, blah, blah, blah. And they've heard it all before. That's not what we're doing. Because I don't want to tell them that I'm the buyer and they want to see my name on the contract, because that's not going to happen. Now, as a result, all we do is I negotiate the deal, I package it up, and I sell it off to an investor. After I've been paid out the centre, I put the owner and the purchaser together, and they conclude the transaction. And it is as simple as that. So I'm going to be telling you this now. So from email database marketing, we're now going on to push notification, and this is what has led me to the evolution of the Property Investor app. So it's an exclusive access to a UK-wide portfolio of property investment opportunities. I'm just giving a few screenshots as to what the app does. So you guys can all see this literally just by going to propertyinvestorapp.co.uk. And what the app aims to do is to pretty much become a one-stop shop. So a property investor can look at an opportunity and says, you know what, I completely get it. So for those guys that see my emails on a day-to-day basis, I'd like to think that I probably put out the best deal information that there is in the industry, full stop, bar none. And I'm very proud of that. I see deals coming every day into my inbox where they don't even give you the address. They don't even give you the area. They say area, so property, Hull, close to a hospital. And that's all you're getting. With my properties, you get all kinds of information. I'd like to think that you're going to agree with that. Okay, so let's keep moving on. So make well-informed decisions and reserve with the touch of a button. So what I intend to do is that we provide all information, so it gives you the full investment opportunity, potential, maximize the return on the investment. We give you a full property gallery. We show all the nearby points of interest, the property description, and also the documentation. So if there's, for argument's sake, a legal pack, we provide all the legal pack documents as well. So whether you're a seasoned property professional or whether you're completely new to property investment, I'd like to think that the Property Investor app has all the opportunities for you. And so just to give you an example, if you're completely new to property, you may not have the capital to go off and buy multiple properties, but you may have sufficient capital to buy properties such as rent to rent, lease options, etc., etc. And some of the more strategic strategies which they get involved in, whether they may have heard on somewhere like Facebook or whether they've been to a local networking meeting, etc. We have all different kinds of property opportunities laid out for you in terms of how you can configure each property to get maximum return, as well as the level of investment required and the potential return you should expect. Now, one thing that we've done with the app has been very clear. We want to try and integrate as much communication through the app as possible. So we've actually got a messenger feature on the app. And what that does is that between the hours of 9 and 5, Monday to Friday, we've got a dedicated support team that will answer all your questions for you. And as we've put on screen, it's deal sourced, appraised and packaged by an expert team and deal traders around the UK. So literally, we do all the hard work for you. All you're going to be having them is in the palm of your hand, and as a result, you then have the ability to reserve the property, literally by pressing the reserve button on the app. Now, that doesn't legally commit you to the property, just to be 100% clear. What that does is show your interest to the property, and then within reserving it, one of the support team will call you and say, hi, Christos, I understand that you've shown interest in number 1 ABC Street. Would you like to go and view it? Would you like to reserve it? Blah, blah, blah. Have you got any further questions? So that's exactly what the app does. So it generates inquiries, and then as a result, the support team then brings it through, make sure that you're happy with it, then you go off and view it, make sure that you're happy with it, and then progress further from there. So that's the app in a nutshell. So just so you know, if you haven't already downloaded the app, please do so by going to propertyinvestorapp.co.uk or download it from the iOS, the Apple App Store, or Google Play, Android app stores. Or you can go to propertyinvestorapp.co.uk. So I just wanted to give you a bit of a rundown as to what the app does. Now, more importantly, I wanted to give you an idea or an opportunity that sits right before your eyes. Now, just out of curiosity, who has a big why? Just out of curiosity, who has a big why? And would you mind telling me what that why is? And your why could be that I want to hit financial freedom. Your why could be that I want to build a better life for my family. Your why would be that I want to sack your boss. Your why would be that I want to stop commuting. Your why would be that I want to be sacked. So I'm just looking at some of the answers that are coming through. So yes, better life for me and my family. And Andrew has said all of it. I want it all. I want it all. I want to sack my boss. I want to send that email, say, guys, you know what? I'm not coming in today. Don't expect me tomorrow either. You know, you can do that. Okay, so the first three. So we've got lots and lots of people. Okay, so Christos says he wants to buy 7 islands worldwide. Some people want to do a lot more for charity. I would just want to live a comfortable life. Now, what I'm after is to build a network of property investors who will become brand ambassadors, or what I call property investor partners, all over the UK. And what this does to you, it makes you a property professional and makes you the authority within your area instantly. So no longer are you Frankie as a one-man band. You're now Frankie, who is a brand ambassador or a partner of Property Investor App and has a nationwide presence and soon to be a worldwide presence. Now, let me give you an idea of what the opportunity is. Did you know that there are 27,000 estate agents and letting agents nationwide in the UK? For the purpose of this presentation, and I'm not saying that the numbers for this are accurate, because a lot of estate agents have a lot more than 50 properties, but I've taken that the average estate agent has approximately 50 properties. Now, if we multiply the agents by the number of properties, that gives us on average 1.3 million properties for sale or to let in the UK at this moment in time. Now, what's interesting is that when I was doing my research, is that even if I only work on 1% of the market, that gives me a market of 13,500 properties to go out, source, package and sell. Source, package and sell, SPS, and that's what we're looking at. So source, package and sell. So what we're after is agents or property investors all over the UK to come and join us as a property investor partner. You'll get all the training. You'll get everything that you need to do. So pretty much you're going to become the authoritative figure in your location. So just to give you an example, let's just say Frankie, sorry, I'm just going through some of the questions. So as says, is that per year? I've just worked on the averages per year as minimum. And you bear in mind that I've worked on 50 properties. I know a lot of estate agents have multiple of hundreds of properties. Just to give you an example, my letting agency alone manages in excess of 300 to 400 properties. I've worked on 50. So I worked on a very low number to keep numbers real. And I worked on a 1% market share. Now, I know that we're going to do more than 1% because 13,500 properties, I do 500 properties myself a year. Think of all the other agents that we haven't even spoken to yet. That alone gives a fee potential income of £54 million. Now, just out of curiosity, are you guys thinking, well, how do I get involved in this? What is it that I can do? So guys, what I'm going to do, for those that are watching on Facebook and those that are watching on Instagram, if you want to watch the full session, now's the time for you to click on the link that's in the opening post. Hopefully you've enjoyed the session, and I hope that you're going to be coming to watch us all there. Thank you. Bye-bye. So guys, now we're all just only on the webinar. Fantastic. So first of all, congratulations for staying with me. So far, just so that I know that you're with me, do you get a rough indication as to what we're offering so far? Does everyone see what we're looking at and what we're talking about? That works on 1% of the marketplace. We haven't taken into consideration that there are so many more angles that we haven't looked at. So we've only looked at estate agents and letting agents. Did you know that there are over 100 auction houses who have auctions every month or every other month? And the average auction has approximately 50 lots on offer. Just to give you an example, there's three main auction houses in Birmingham. So you've got Cottons, you've got SDL, and you've got Bondwolf. Bondwolf, their next auction is in the first week of September. I know they've got 140 lots. Just to give you an example as well, the average sales rate of an auction is between 70 to 80%, which means that there's 20% of unsold lots. Now, bear in mind, there's a reason probably that they haven't sold, and we have to take that into consideration. We cannot go into this naively. However, there are 20% of properties nationwide of auction that have not sold, and therefore have an easy opportunity to go and pick up and list on the Property Investor app. But you can only do that as a Property Investor partner. If 1% of the 50 properties a month equals 600 properties, which gives you an average fee of £4,000. I've worked an average fee of £4,000, which is kind of the average fee that we're working on for 2019. That means that's approximately 2.4 million. Not to mention the 54 million from the estate agents and letting agents. Now, bear in mind that I'm working on the whole market here, and we haven't even taken into consideration all the other opportunities, the direct to vendor opportunities, the rent to rent opportunities, the lease option opportunities, the service accommodation opportunities, the development opportunities, the commercial opportunities, the planning opportunities, and also the ability to create a global network. Did you know? Sorry, I'm just. So Matt says, could we do a live auction on the app to upsell? So, well, Matt, just so you know, for the purpose of this presentation, all we are doing, and believe it or not, this is extremely simple. The reason why I want Property Investor Partners to join the Property Investor app is because I, Arsh Ellahi, based in Wolverhampton, cannot go and spend a day in Sunderland, a day in Hull, a day in Kingston, a day in, Birmingham, a day in Coventry, Sheffield, you name it. It would be fantastic if I had the time to go and sit in every single estate agent, every single letting agent, etc., all over the country. But the fact is that time does not allow me to do that. Now, what we are after is investors who are looking to take on a location. And when we say in a location and become a Property Investor Partner, So let's just say Matt is based in Birmingham. We would not give Matt an area in, say if Matt is based in Birmingham, would not give Matt an area in Sunderland, for argument's sake, because Matt would have the same restrictions that I've got based in Wolverhampton, that he would be restricted in time. I want Matt to be able to look at his area in Birmingham and go and sit down with every estate agent and get Matt to know every branch manager, every estate agent by first names terms. Speaking to them, say, guys, okay, do you know that, okay, you've got some properties that haven't sold, we've got an opportunity for you here. And how it works is very simple. We do not charge the agents anything for selling it. We make our money off the buyer, which is how we've always done it. Just to have a look at the image on the left-hand side. On the phone here, we clearly identify what our fee is. So we charge a finder's fee to the buyer. We've never charged the seller. So from our approach, it's very simple. The estate agent still makes their fee from the seller. We make our fee from the buyer, and everyone wins. The estate agent has not lost any commissions. We've benefited from a new property without having to do a lot of work, and there are opportunities all over the country. Now, when Matt walks into his estate agent in Birmingham, hi, my name's Matthew. My name's Matthew Richardson. Before he would have been, hi, my name's Matthew Richardson. I'm a property investor. Now he is, hi, my name's Matthew Richardson. I'm a representative of the Property Investor app. And here is what the Property Investor app does. It's a UK-wide, it's a UK-wide property investment platform, and I'm part of a massive national network. The reason why I'm talking to you is because I understand that you've got a few properties that you've got that may not have sold. Now, the reason why I'm offering you this opportunity is because we believe that by listing them on the app, and when we say listing them, it would be Matthew that would be listing them on the app, not the estate agent, because Matthew is my contact, not the estate agent. So Matthew says, I can try and get these properties sold for you. We'll put them on the app. We'll find a buyer. We'll pass the buyer over to you. The buyer will then deal with the estate agent direct, and they will go through the process as they would normally. The estate agent wins. They've found a buyer with no work. They've made money from a property that they previously hadn't sold. Matthew's made a sourcing fee of a property that all he's had to do is build some rapport and build a relationship, potentially negotiate down on the price, potentially look at other avenues, opportunities. Not every property that the estate agent's going to give you is going to be the right property, just so that you know. So there is going to have to be some appraisal work. But these are all the things that I'm going to teach you how to do as a Property Investor app partner. I need you to be walking into that agency and say, guys, okay, I can help you, and this is how I can help you, because I am a Property Investor ambassador for the Property Investor app. As a result, all the properties that they bring come through you, which you then list on the site. Now, the way that we make money is that all the finder's fees are split on a 50-50 split basis. So any properties that you bring to the app is split on a 50-50 basis, where we sell it on the app, we find the buyer, and then as a result, the estate agent makes their money from the seller, we make our money from the buyer, and it works extremely well. Now, my vision for this is extremely simple. Did you know that in the UK, we have over 1,000 towns and 60 cities? We're after property investor partners to represent the Property Investor app in all areas of the UK. And the vision for this app has been extremely clear from day one, to become the equivalent of Rightmove for the property investment market and the property investment deals market. Yes, there are lots of websites out there that say, you know, we can buy property, or you know, we've got a platform where we're selling a few properties. This is the UK's first property investor app that showcases all investment opportunities all over the UK. Now, I know that we've got loads of questions that are flooding, so I'll be coming back to them in a second. So Mitesh says, does this apply to London too? If London is in the UK, then Mitesh, yes, it does, my friend. Now, just so you know, if Mitesh was to come to me and say, Arsh, I want London, I'm going to be completely blunt with you, Mitesh. I said, no chance. Because the chance or the, how can I put this bluntly? There's no way that you're going to be able to cover London single-handedly. Because London is too far an area, too large an area, and as a result, you won't do the area justification. You won't be able to get around all the estate agents. More importantly, even if you do get around all the estate agents, Mitesh, you won't be able to handle the traffic. Because if they're all bringing the properties to you, I need you to get them on the app, which means that I need you to appraise them, say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, because there are going to be lots of no's that when the property comes on, you're going to say, you know what, this isn't right. But then on the other side, you know, if you would say, Mitesh comes to me and says, I want Kingston, or I want a segment or a region within London, then yes, absolutely. So we've got lots. So Matthew says West London. Okay. So here's an interesting question. So his name's DC. Sorry, apologies. You've only put DC. How many BMV deals do you get from estate agents? I've tried this avenue with poor results. Now, DC, that's a great question because I hear this all the time. Do you know that I get BMV deals from estate agents every day of the week? And that's purely because you're probably going in with the wrong approach. I bet you're going in and said, hi, my name's DC. I'm a property investor. I'm after those tired properties that you can't sell. You know, I'm a cash buyer. I can complete within 7 days. And you give them all your spiel. And guess what? You know how many times they've heard that, DC? They've probably heard that about 10 times that day, which is equivalent to 60 times a week on a 6-day working week. Which over a year, you do the maths. They hear the same thing day in, day out. But what we're offering here is completely different. Okay, sorry, Michael, okay, there's loads and loads of questions. Loads and loads of questions, so don't worry, I'm going to come back to them. So to become a property investor partner, you will need to be licensed. You will be licensed in their area. You will also be educated on the different methods of sourcing property. Estate agents is only one method. I can show you so many different methods. So not only is this an opportunity, but this is almost like on-the-job training. I'll be showing you the different methods of sourcing property, a complete set of documents and templates which we use on a day-to-day basis. I'll be showing you the types of properties to look for and how to extract the value out of each property. One of the most important skills is negotiation. I'll be showing you how to negotiate with agents and get exclusivity on each property. Exclusivity is key, especially when we're going to do it on this kind of scale. And how to package the property ready for sale so that when someone looks at it, they go, yes, I get it, I like it, I want to buy it. Are you all with me so far? Have I lost you in any way, shape or form? Please say yes or no. Now, this is the part where I become completely ruthless, and I do not apologize for this. I will not just take someone that comes to me and says, Arsh, I want South London. Or Arsh, I want Hull. Or Arsh, I want Huddersfield. Here's where you have to do some work. Have you ever seen that program, The Apprentice? You've got to tell me why you think you should be a property investor partner. Because I don't want someone just to say, Arsh, I'm going to take Sunderland, and I'm calling you 3 months down the line and said, Jason, what's happened? I haven't heard a single thing from you. I want key members who are going to be able to bring determination, who are going to be able to keep themselves self-motivated. Because bear in mind, this is not a course or a mentorship. This is a business opportunity. You've got to ooze confidence. Your communication skills have got to be on point. Because bear in mind, you get one chance with an estate agent. When you walk through the doors of that Connells, Reeds Rains, Your Move, Belvoir, and some of the national chains, if you walk through and you're stuttering or you're iffing, umming and ahhing, you don't really know what the opportunity is, and they don't take you seriously, you've just lost that relationship. So this is for you to say, you know what, I've got this. I'm going to make this, because guess what? This is an opportunity that no one else will offer you. You've got to have the ability to network. And you've got to have the ability to pitch to agents and investors, because bear in mind, let's face it, there are going to be opportunities where you're going to have to speak. You're going to be speaking to agents every day. You're going to be speaking to investors every day. You're going to be speaking to homeowners. You're going to be speaking to trade professionals, architects, solicitors, accountants, tax advisors, because these are where all the leads are going to come from. We're not just hoping just to deal with an estate agent and wait for them to come through to us. This is where self-motivation kicks in, where you're going to have to say, you know what, I need to do some work here. Because if you're not going out and speaking, having a cup of coffee with the branch manager of the estate agent or the letting agent or the auction house, or networking, the deals are not coming through the door. And if the deals are not coming through the door in that location, you're not doing the app justice. So I'm being completely clear as to my direction here. This is not for everyone. Or should I say, in a clearer manner, everyone is not for me. To work with me, I want to see that you're going to be able to drive the app forward in your location, because you're the brand ambassador for that location. And it'll be very clear from the key performance indicators that we put in place to see exactly what's happening with your activity. Because there'll be certain things that you'll be given, and we'll make sure, I want to see how many calls we're making, how many emails are going out, and as a result, what activities actually been brought back in as a result of the effort that's been put out. So there's lots that we're going to be praising on. Now I put this in as a last minute, because does that image resonate with you at all? How many of you are stuck in the rat race on a day-to-day basis? How many of you have got to wake up in the morning and commute to work? You're going to be sat in that traffic. Now, just so you know, I came back from my second UK home in Cornwall today. It took me 6 hours, and all I could think of is, I'm so glad that I don't have to drive to work every day. They're so glad that I don't, if I had to be sat in traffic on a day, I was sat on the M5 for hours this afternoon. And I just kept saying, I'm so glad I don't have to do this, because I've built a life, and property has allowed me the freedom to do as I wish and as I please. Now, the Property Investor app is about to give you that same opportunity. Now, just so that you know, like I said, okay, so it's really interesting to watch some of the comments. He goes, I'm not sure if you're seeing this, but I am your guy for Croydon. I'm 100% dedicated to making this work and making huge amounts of money. Just so that you know, guys, I'm going to be 100% clear on this. I need to make sure that whoever we take on board is committed to the opportunity. So there will be a licensing fee, which will vary between £2,000 and £5,000 per area, just to give you a ballpark figure. That figure has not been determined yet until we meet the person and the location. But what we are doing is that we're asking potential partners to come forward. And what we're doing for tonight is we say that by visiting bit.ly/PIA partner, we're asking you to pay a reservation fee of £100. Now, just so you know, that is just to show some level of dedication. That does not guarantee you a location, but that shows that, Arsh, you know what, I'm ready for this. Because everyone so far on the webinar, I don't think there's a single person on this session that has said, you know what, this is not for me. So far, all the messages that I'm getting, I'm committed. Mike saying, I already have a strong agent connection. I'm already networking. I'm a commission-only salesman, so self-motivation is already required. I'm ability to deal with rejection. These are the messages that I'm getting in my inbox right now. So what we're saying is that you pay a reservation fee of £100. Next thing that you do is that I'm going to be inviting you, all interested parties, to a property investor discovery day, the date to be confirmed. Now, admittedly, when I was on the way back to Cornwall, I was thinking, can I do it this Saturday? You know, if people are free and they have the ability to come and spend some time with me this Saturday, I would arrange for Saturday the 31st of August in Birmingham or Wolverhampton. So one of the locations. And I'll be inviting all interested parties to a property investor discovery day. So just so you know, that's not a training day. I'll give you a 13 or 45-minute snippet of what Property Investor app is all about. Once I show you what goes on behind the scenes and how in depth this opportunity is, you'll be able to see exactly why I'm interested on what the next 2 to 5 years brings for me and the Property Investor app. And just to be 100% transparent, for those that do not get allocated an area, we will refund you the £100. So it's not like I'm holding on to your money. That's just for you to say, you know what, I'm interested, and to show some form of dedication. Because for me to say to you all, saying, yeah, okay, come to Discovery Day, all of you are going to turn up. So that kind of brings the presentation to a close. So you know, I've given you an indication as to what the Property Investor app is all about, and the demographic and the kind of opportunity that we have sat in front of us. So someone's just said, can you just put the link back up? So yeah, that's fine. Okay, so Abina, there you go. So it's bit.ly. So it's bit.ly / and just so someone said, can you just do a quick demonstration of the page? So if I copy that. So that's going to take you to that page. And all I want you to do at this point is put your name, email address, and area and region of interest. And then it'll take you to the page where you pay that £100. Okay, so just so Abdul says, sorry, on that day I'm committed somewhere else. I appreciate that. That date is not set in stone, and bear in mind that I'm not going to be able to see everyone on that day. So there will be multiple days we'll be meeting people. So don't panic if you can't make this Saturday. Don't panic. Like I said, that was just something that came through in the back of my mind on my way back from Cornwall today. One thing I will say is that I will be interviewing each and every single one of you, and I'll be having some of my guys I'll be having some of my guys. So I've got Richard, a guy called Rich Everett. He doesn't know it yet, but he'll be interviewing. And I've got Rich G, who I think they're both online. Hi, Rich. Hi, Rich. So these guys are going to be helping me go through just to see what kind of caliber of partners we're going to have here. So, okay, so Ali says, are you still doing your deal sourcing training next year? Well, Ali, that's an interesting part, and that's something that we're going to talk about completely differently. We are running we are still going to be running deal sourcing training, etc. But my focus predominantly for the next few years is on the Property Investor app. And if we've got partners all over the UK, perhaps the training may come to a cease. I don't know yet. Okay, so just so you know, okay, so Mitesh says, I'm on the page now, paying. Okay, so good. So guys, just so you know, that £100 is fully refundable. £100 is not going to break the bank for me. But just so you know, so Shade says, I'm on the webinar. Okay, so, right, so just so you know, if you don't get allocated an area after coming to if I feel like we're not a great fit or you're not a great fit for the Property Investor app, then anything that you pay, the £100 will be fully refunded back to you. So after reserving it, I want you to send me a snapshot. So email arsh@propertyinvestor.co.uk, a summary as to who you are and what your property history looks like. Impress me. Show me stuff that I can look at and say, you know what, to be fair, this guy has got what it's going to take. So whilst we're waiting, okay. So Matthew has put, he goes, investors tend to invest north of Birmingham much more than they do south of it. So would you agree that a London-based license to be less valuable? Absolutely not, Matthew. Just so you know, there was a property. So one of my mentees, a chap called Harjit, he actually found a property in Richmond, and we actually managed to negotiate a discount on that property. I could have sold that property easily 50, 60 times over. He actually managed to get 20% discount in Richmond. So, all depends on, all depends on the kind of stock that you bring in. Bear in mind that there's all kinds of different deals that you can do. Below market value deals, you can get rent-to-rent deals, you can get service accommodation deals, you can get lease option deals. So there's so many different opportunities for you. So let's keep moving on. So Gary says, can't get on. Would be impressed with someone. Okay, would you be impressed with someone with zero history? Absolutely. I started 20 years ago with zero history. What have I become today? Everyone starts from somewhere. You never know. You could be a lion in the making. You could be that person that goes out and sets the property world on fire. All the guys that go on these property trainings, they all start from somewhere. Some of them have done fantastically. Some of them have done fantastically well. Some of them have done fantastically well from going out on workshops, and they started from nothing. So Craig says, what percentage does the ambassador get from sourcing the deal? It's a 50-50 split basis. But just bear in mind, Craig, if you bring everything to the table, if we're having to assess, package, and do everything for you, then that will have to be negotiated. But we will aim that on the fact that you brought everything in and packaged ready for it to go on a 50-50 split basis. So Ben says, how many areas will London be split into? Ben, admittedly, London is something that we're yet to work on, so we'll need to have a look at what areas. Just to give me an indication, Ben, what area are you looking at in Ben? No, what area are you looking at? So Jay says, is the license fee going to be a one-off or is it an annual fee? So just so you know, great question, Jay. It'll be an annual fee. The reason why I say that is because if you're there on a if you're there in year one, and just so you know, there'll be lots of key performance indicators. If you've not brought anything to the table within year one, there may be a conversation where we don't renew the license for year two. So I'm going to be extremely clear that I need people that are singing off the same hymn sheet. So Dennis says I'm in North Island. I want a different day. That's fine, Dennis. We're doing these interviews. We're going to be doing this. So just so you know, my wife said to me, and my wife is pretty much like my sounding board, and she goes, "Not everyone's going to be able to come to Birmingham." And I said, "I get that." So what we're going to do is we're also going to run Skype interviews as well, if that helps as well. So let's have a quick look. Abina says, put the page back up. So yeah, it is there, bit.ly/PIA partner. So Mike says, I already have strong agent connections in Wigan and Swansea, investing in developing their good contacts with letting estate agents giving me properties before they come online. Fantastic, Mike. You're exactly the kind of guy that I want. If you've got agents and they're already feeding you stock, guess what? That means they already like you. If they already like you, this is an easy sell for you. All you've got to do is say, guys, okay, I'm now part of a bigger picture. Whereas before I could only buy stuff that I was doing myself. Now I'm part of a network where we can, where I can't buy it, but I'll put you in contact with other people that can. Okay, so Sam says, I'm talking networking events. I'm talking at networking events every day, along with Facebook ads and connecting with investors on LinkedIn non-stop. Sam, you're doing fantastically well. This could be the natural progression for you. So John says, I'm a commission-only salesman, so self-motivation is required daily, plus the ability to deal with rejection. I'm starting deal sourcing business at present, so if this fits where I'm going, I'm interested. John, to be perfectly honest, the fact that you're already you're on a commission-only basis, this is a perfect opportunity for you. Okay, so let's have a quick look. Okay, So Ryan says, will there cost be to get involved? Yes, absolutely. As I said, Ryan, we're after people in locations that's going to be able to deliver. So DC says that he's after East Manchester. We'll have a look at what East Manchester looks like, and as a result, see what his credentials look like and whether they're a good match. Okay, brilliant. So I think okay. Right, Ruth says, how do we handle properties that are cash buyers only and they need money before they can release the property? They can release the property exclusive to us only, as it only takes a little while before the property sells. Okay, so Ruth, just so that you know, if they're cash buyers only, what's the reason for them to be cash buyers? Is it because they are unmortgageable? Is it because they are properties that have got some form of structural issues? Or is it that they're just after a quick sale? If they're after a quick sale, a standard mortgage purchase is between 4 to 8 weeks. So why can't we get them a mortgage buyer, which means that it opens up to a lot more of the market than a standard cash buyer who may not want to tie up all their cash in one property for such a long period of time. Okay, let's have a quick look. Okay, so Gary says, great, signed up. Okay, fantastic. Right, okay, there's some great questions coming in here. Okay, right. Can someone put deals if they've not become a licensed partner? Roy, unfortunately not. We're only working with partners who are licensed to the app, and the reason being is that because we're able to keep quality control of the stock, and also we're also able to ensure that each partner is sorry, my brain's gone dead. So each partner is fully compliant. So we don't want to be taking stock of people who are not compliant and not been able to register, etc. So as a partner of the Property Investor app, you would have to be a fully compliant deal sourcer as well. So I'm listening on the way on my home. Can you have the link to email to me, please? DC, if you can, just have a quick look. I'll be putting up a recording. So if you want to send me an email, or it's bit.ly/PIA partner. Okay, so this is a great question. So Reece says, can we work as a team if there are many of us in an area and you have approved them all? Just so that you know, Ruth, I'll really only approve one per area. However, it is a fantastic suggestion that if multiple people want an area, why don't multiple people then become the partners in that location? So for argument's sake, Ruth is only dealing with Connells, Dan is dealing with Reed's Range, etc. And you start to work as almost like JV partners as a property investor app ambassadors in that location. Okay, so Ben says, we have a list of all the different areas and licensing fees on the discovery day. That is the plan, Ben, yes. Okay, Mike says, is finder's fee always going to be 5k, which we then split 50-50? Not necessarily, Mike. If you have a look on the app, I think our lowest fee of property that we've got on the app at the moment is 3,000. The most expensive one is 12,000. So it all varies depending on which property. So Luke says, how much is a license for an area? It will vary between 2 and 5 grand, depending on the area, depending on how many agents are operating in that area, etc., and how many deals there are to be done in that area. Constance said, would one need to be individually compliant? What will it take? Yes, for you to be compliant, you'll need to be a member of the property ombudsman. So it's going to cost, on average, the best part of £800 to be compliant for the year. So sorry, John says compliance. Yes, each member will have to be a compliant deal sourcer, and that will be as your independent body. That would have to be something that will have to be done. So Bina says, the licensing fee, will that pay for some people to become compliant deal sources? Unfortunately not, because you're still an individual. Technically speaking, you're self-employed, which means that you're individually licensed. Okay, so this session is being recorded, by the way. Right, okay, so I live in London, currently source deals, got in the north, have contacts in a few areas, got 12 viewings in Hull tomorrow. Okay, so Abdi Hakim, he lives in North London, but he's going to Hull. Just so that you know, Abdi Hakim, if you live in North London, really, I would want your area to be within London, as opposed to live in London and try and do your deals in Hull. Okay, so I think I've the enthusiasm being a partner will give me the confidence of. Sorry, bear with a sec. I have the enthusiasm, and being a partner will give me the confidence, motivation to visit estate agents, but I don't know if that will be sufficient for you. Nassim, absolutely. If you've got the enthusiasm, that's 50% of the battle. Getting the get up and go is 50% of the battle. Next 50% is going and speaking to agents and becoming a partner, becoming part of a large network will give you the confidence to go out and sell your opportunity. Okay, so Mr. Hussain says, I'm a domestic EPC assessor. Would you consider me for WS postcode? Absolutely, Mr. Hussain. Now, just so you know, as a domestic EPC assessor, you're in a fantastic position because you're probably already doing EPCs for estate agents within that location. Now, all you've got to do is have a look to see, whilst you're working with that agent, put a different spin on it and see how that can work and how you can find some deals. So, sorry, I'm just gonna, right, so how much would you charge to package deal if the right property is sourced? How much extra would you charge to package? How much extra would you charge to package a deal if the right property is sourced? Sorry, I don't understand the question, Mr. Hussain. So if you can, how much extra would you charge to package a deal if the right property is sourced? You're charging the buyer a fee. Will I be able to build a team working under me at my own expense? Absolutely, Charles. That's absolutely what we want you to do. If you want to outsource stuff, speaking to people, but bear in mind that they are your team. Jimmy says, what about Birmingham? Jimmy, if you're in Birmingham, feel free to give me a shout. Mitesh says, Arsh just emailed you, all steps completed. That, my friend, is good going. Hi, Arsh, what about Liverpool? Would that be one area or split? Just so that you know, Jeff, well, you do know, but in Liverpool you've got all different types. You've got Sefton, you've got Bootle, but these are all kind of small areas. So Liverpool, I think, is one big city, so it would be split into a few different areas. Okay, so Amanda said, would you split Torbay? I'd have to have a look at how many agents are operating in Torbay. So just to give you an example, in Torbay, if they've got 60 or 70 agents, my question to you, Amanda, would be, would you be able to service those 60 or 70 agents effectively? Now, if the agent's got if the area's got 5 to 10 agents, I think you could service them effectively. But again, it all comes down to you, your personality, and your ability to be able to do the deal. So Mandy says that is Torquay and Paignton. So again, it all comes down to time as well. How much time are you going to be able to dedicate to it? And because this is one of the key things, is that time is going to be a key indicator. If you're going to say to me that I already work 60 hours a week, I've got no time to visit the estate agents, I've got no time to call them during the day, how are we going to be able to move this forward as a business? So that's one thing that I'm going to be looking at when I'm speaking to you and going through the process. I want to understand who you are, what you currently do, how much time are you going to dedicate to it. So Micah says, are you mostly looking for properties for investors, developers, i.e. potential HMOs, rather than houses for normal buyers? Sorry, I missed the beginning. Yeah, Mike, so you know, the Property Investor app is specifically an app aimed at property investment deals for property investors. So we're not aiming for the normal buyers. The normal buyers would normally go to Rightmove. You know, we're after property investment deals, so property investment opportunities that we can sell to property investors. Gary says, do we get training to identify good deals? Absolutely. That's part of the training process. So once you've signed up, once you sent me your email, that's when I'll come back to you and tell you about your discovery day or discovery call, if you want to call it that. If we then progress and say, yeah, okay, I like Gary Newman, I like what he's all about, I think he's got great skills to go off and do this and make dominate his area, shall we call it. If we think that you've got those abilities, next thing that we'll do, we'll be setting up a training day, showing you exactly what to do, how to do it, and how we're going to move you forward so that you know exactly what you're looking for. So Ben says, is the licensing fee a one-off payment or for 12 months on a renewable basis? So Ben, as I suggested earlier, it's a payment for, it's an annual subscription, shall we say, for 12 months and then on a renewable basis. And in that period, we'll be having a look at what you've done, how you've gone on, how many deals have been come on, how many have been sold, you know, how many agents you've spoken to, etc. And we'll go from there. Like I said, so Amanda, so anyone that's an EPT member will have a chat in the EPT forum about the opportunity. So any of the EPT members, so for those that don't know, EPT is Elite Property Tribe, which is my personal mentorship group. So for any of the EPT members, if you want to have a chat with me either tomorrow or in the EPT WhatsApp group, feel free to do so, and then I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you a little later on. Okay, so I just want one deal and I'll go and leave work and go full time. Okay, so like I said, best thing to do, all you got to do, guys, is have a think about the opportunity. And if I'm just gonna give you a quick indication, the indication area, the opportunity is £1,000 in the UK. The vision is to become the right move of property investment deals. And just to give you an idea, that there are 27,000 estate and letting agents in the UK, and the average agent has approximately 50 properties. Now, out of those 50 properties, a lot of those will be what we would consider home buyer properties, so people looking to move into a property for their own residential use. We're not after those. We're after the properties that have got investment potential. So could it be a HMO? Could we do, could there be a development opportunity there? Could the house be converted into something? And how we can move that forward. So speaking to the agent, and bear in mind that all my figures today are based on 1% of the market share. So you've got to think that, can I go into that area? Can I dominate that area? So Abdul says, I can't find the app. Abdul, go into the App Store and type in property investor. We've had approximately 8,000 downloads. I don't think anyone's ever come back to me and said, I can't find the app. So yeah, so it's property investor, and it's pretty much the same symbols what we got at the bottom there. Okay, so Matt says, if someone, Matt, it's probably best that you email me and put your contact details on the email, and let's have a chat tomorrow, if that's okay. So your scenario is slightly different, maybe worth us having a chat. So on that note, if we've answered all the questions, I'll put on literally you've got my contact details there. So you've got my email address and you've got my mobile number. So that's my personal mobile number. If you want to have a chat, let's have a chat tomorrow. Let's have a chat over the next few days. Watch the webinar back. So I'll be sending out the recording to the guys that have attended. Watch the webinar back. See what the opportunity entails. Have a think about it. This isn't something that you just say, you know what, I'm going to throw my life at this. You've got to make sure that this fits in with you, your reason, or fits in within you and your reason. Your reason why. Why are you doing this? How are you doing this? How much time are you going to dedicate to this? And more importantly, if you want to have a chat about it, feel free to give me a call or drop me a quick email. So Jay says, being a partner, would we be able to trade outside of the property investor platform with existing clients, for example? Just to give you an example, Jay, just so you know, any deals that you negotiate as a partner will then be subject to the 50-50 split. It's like going to, it's like, I'm just trying to give you an example. What you're basically saying is, can I become a partner, and then when you've taught me how to find deals, can I then go off and sell them and then cut you out as the property investor app? That wouldn't happen, if I'm honest. And if we found that that would happen, we would instantly remove you from the partner program. So Mr. Sen said, I mean, if I found a property, you guys do the research with regards to packaging it as a rent-to-rent HMO potential, what would you charge? All comes down to how much cash flow the property is generating, Mr. Sen. It all comes down to the opportunity that you've found. So the fee varies anywhere between 3,000 and 10,000, depending on property, location, cash flow, etc. So there's quite a few things to take into consideration. Amanda, any questions regards to the EPT, please put into the EPT group, and then I'll answer those separately if that's okay. So guys, on that note, hopefully you've enjoyed the session. Hopefully you now got an indication of what the opportunity entails, and hopefully you're excited by it. And when I say I'm certainly excited by it, I think, going from 500 properties a year to the first benchmark is 1,000 properties a year, then going from 1,000 to 2 and 2 to 5. That's the kind of benchmarks that we've set in ourselves. So if we can trade 5,000 properties a year, which is equivalent to 100 properties a week, hang on, 52 weeks, 100 properties a week, which is equivalent to 100 properties a week, which is equivalent to 20 a day, working on Monday to Friday. That's a big ask. That's a very, very big ask. But when you have a look at how many members that we've got, the more properties that we get, the more investors that we get, we've got to just have a look at the evolution as to what Rightmove has done. Rightmove didn't start from Rightmove started from a platform with 0 agents. If you have a look at where Rightmove is now, how many thousands, tens of thousands of agents have they got? As a result of the tens of thousands of agents, how many properties do they have? And out of the hundreds of thousands of properties that they have, how many have they sold? So the model is already there. The model has already been created. So what we're doing is we're putting a different spin on it. So, sorry, someone's just put agents can't sell without Rightmove. Absolutely. But what we're actually doing is giving them a different portal to sell on. When we look at it from a point of view, is that if there's a specific marketplace for a property, just give you an example. If Rightmove or an agent is listing a property on Rightmove, and let's just say that it's a property which is in need of modernisation, it's derelict, it's got some structural issues. Is it a first-time buyer going to be interested in that property? Possibly not. So therefore, is Rightmove the right marketplace for it? At the moment, property investors are possibly looking at Rightmove, but a lot of them are not. So what we're doing is we're actually going to be putting the property in its current marketplace. When I say in its current marketplace, in a marketplace full of property investors, so it's actually targeted marketing. And as a result, we'll have more of a chance of selling it on the property investor app to property investors than the agent would be trying to sell it to first-time buyers or home buyers. Does that kind of make sense? So guys, on that note, I wish you all a great evening. Thank you very much for spending your Bank Holiday Monday evening with me. If you like the thoughts of anything that we've spoken about, feel free to give me a call tomorrow. Feel free to drop me a quick email. If you're going to send me an email, please put your contact details on there, and we'll speak all very soon. Take care, good night, and God bless.